Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. A glorious weekend. Can we get the second win of the Gonzalo Pineda era? Getting all that and more coming up. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube.
This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern.
5 Star fam, here's your opportunity to support the work from the ground level. As you know, it takes a lot of work to run this channel, and when you have 3 games in 7 days, it's a tremendous amount of dedication and passion. So yes, guys, join us at patreon.com/atlutdfantv. It is very much appreciated. Anything that you can voluntarily give to the cause, it really does help a lot. But guys, let's get into the match review. It was Orlando City and Atl United on the first time there was a match at the Benz on a Friday. And yeah, you know, anytime a new coach, they come in and they get their first win against Kitty City, always a good feeling and maybe a good omen too. But yeah, I mean, you know, going in without 3 surefire starters and possibly a 4th in Ronald Hernandez. Of course, Miles Robinson, George Bello, and Joseph Martinez were away on international duty. And yeah, you know, you saw them not really be able to come back in time, even though their games were finished by Thursday. But it is just a little too soon. And so you had a few of the fans, I would say, were a little reticent to be too bullish on this match, but it seemed like the players that were still in town that trained with Gonzalo Pineda, they definitely got some nice tutelage. And yes, definitely, we came out blazing. We came out right out the blocks, and yeah, we were controlling possession. Not only that, but also you know, with some dangerous chances, really testing Orlando City and making pretty much Orlando look like, yeah, not the team that was in second in the East. And yeah, we definitely, I think, seem to have maybe, you know, turned a page here in terms of just how we are playing, especially nullifying a lot of the threats of Orlando City, especially a Daryl DK, who has been a guy that, yeah, you know, throughout this season, not only with Orlando City, but with the loan club that he was at, he was scoring aplenty. And the only goal that Daryl DK scored in this match was an own goal. But yeah, getting into our goals, yeah, we had you know, an early in the first half, you know, Atl Utd, he had a beautiful combination where yeah, there was a really beautiful shot from Atl Utd that hit off the post, and I think that kind of started to set the tone in this match, where we weren't afraid to pop a shot off at their 3rd string goalkeeper. So either way, you know, yeah, maybe, you know, the goalkeeper wasn't the starting caliber, but either way, you know, you still have, we're shorthanded, they're shorthanded. I think you'll take it however you get it. But yeah, you know, you saw, you know, 2 goals come by the way of Barco. Yeah, the first one on a free kick in the 38th minute, and yeah, that one was deflected and recorded as an own goal. That first goal for Atl United, of course, with George Campbell in the 25th minute. He knocked in a header on a set piece, and yeah, it was Marcelino Moreno that from that short corner, George Campbell was able to charge in out of nowhere with a towering header, with in that sense where he didn't really have to jump. He's just that tall, and he just you know, when he gets in there, he knew exactly what to do with it to score his first MLS goal of his career. and for the club. And yeah, George Campbell, it also was his mother's birthday, so extra feels with that one, as yeah, he dedicated that for his mom. Also told his mom that he might score for her, and lo and behold, he did. And it seems like these set pieces were a little bit more of the assistant coach's babies, so they were, definitely in that regard. Something that they practiced and did well during the match, and so you want to see definitely more of that, since we do win a lot of free kicks, so we might as well use them. And then especially, with any ensuing, if we get a corner or anything like that, we want to use those well too, so might as well do that, and you can start to set the tone for a match, especially for Orlando side that's flying high. This was their first loss in their last 7 games, so no slouches so far in the season for Orlando City, of course. But yeah, and you saw Luis Araujo, he definitely was putting a bunch of guys on skates, and also yeah, nutmegging a ton. Definitely a guy who was hungry to score, being very direct, and I think you kind of, with that, Araujo kind of allows us to not only have a third guy in attack who is really good in possession, but also good at taking on guys. The others, of course, in Marcelino Moreno and Ezequiel Barco, which we'll get to his goal in a sec. But I think you also see Jake Mulroney, who's also good at taking on his man. And then you see also Josetu, also very good at taking on his man as well. You have a lot of press-resistant players, which allows our team to really be pretty unpredictable, drag some guys out of position, and Orlando City were pretty much relegated to having to chase a lot of shadows throughout the match. But getting into Barco's goal in the 72nd minute, he got a switch from Brooks Lennon, and Barco did the rest of the work as he skipped past 3 players, putting them also on skates and finishing the job with the 3rd goal of the match for Atlanta United. But yeah, in terms of this type of match without our guys on international duty, those starters, I mean, you saw a lot of the depth with Atlanta United, that's with the 3-man back line in Walks and Franco and George Campbell coming in for Miles Robinson, that you have guys that also are very aggressive, and you see that Alan Franco, who gives me definitely the vibes of Franco Escobar or an LGP, with the way not only he is very aggressive, might get a yellow card, but also argues with the ref, and also likes to run into, or gets run into by Brad Guzan. But also George Campbell, who, so far with the minutes that he's played, I mean, he shows that he is willing to take the space when given, and he is adept with the ball at his feet, and with the tackles, he's very aggressive as well. And so, he did get a yellow card, but I think it's something that it was a professional foul. It wasn't something that was super rash. It was more, he had to do it. And so those are the type of fouls and yellow cards that you want to see a player pick up, if any. But I mean, definitely, it's just we started off well, we ended it well as well, with guys that came on. That's, I mean, I would say regularly, if you saw them coming on, you would hope it's when we're trying to shore up a win, and when a Kubo Torres comes on, with a Mo Adams, even an Alex DeJohn, that's pretty much murder she wrote. We murdered the kiddies, and it was definitely a very beautiful feeling when the full-time whistle was blown. But I think you see the type of ball that we should have been playing throughout the season, because these are the same players. These are capable players, and you have us kind of playing against Orlando City that we hadn't beaten in 6 games, and us being shorthanded without Jose Martinez, we still were able to maybe uncle them, and that's fantastic. But we dominated in a lot of different facets, and it wasn't just a hit and hope from Brooks Lennon from the wing. It was definitely a varied type of service. I thought you saw also maybe more chipped service, more balls that were just a little bit more unpredictable, as well as the dribbling at players. So definitely we want to see more of that. It's still very early days in the Pineda era, of course, and this is only one match, so we shouldn't get too high, but it definitely was, you saw with that false 9 up top, maybe as well, Gonzalo Pineda said 2 false 9s in Atl Utd and Ezequiel Barco. Marcelino Moreno was pulling the strings, as well as Mateo Sosetu in the middle of the park, and so it definitely allowed a lot of good kind of interplay and interchanging, and also players running in behind. At one point when George Bello came on, he was a guy that was found that are making late runs, and making not late runs, but making runs in behind, and but also seeing that very type of good runs that we want to be able to score from, and scoring 3, maybe 2 from kind of the set pieces. Yeah, it's a good step in the right direction. We want to see more, obviously, from the run of play, maybe more team goals, combination play, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. But Gonzalo Pineda, yes, gets his first win, and it's definitely great to see, of course. But you saw, kind of the smugness return from the Atlanta United fans. Definitely, that's something that is quite beautiful when we do get the win. Gonzalo Pineda, he talked about things after the match of what he saw. He said, quote, "The possession was very good. It was the type of possession that I want, which is playing forward, breaking lines, and trying to create chances. So I'm very pleased with the way they applied all the tactics." And Campbell said after the goal, "It was amazing, even better because it was my mom's birthday today, and I told her I'd score for her, so it was really amazing for me." Pineda also went on to say, "What we saw today was a very dangerous player, an attacking player in Atl Utd. Sometimes he doesn't even touch the ball. He creates many gaps for his teammates. And that's what I love about Luis, is that he's always on the move, and he's always trying to go for a goal." And on Barco, he said, "It's a reward for Barco because I felt not just the offensive part, but the defensive part was great. That tells me a lot of where Barco is mentally and physically with the team." It's definitely, you see Barco, he is, I think, one of the kind of talisman in this team for sure. And may it continue, because some of us were skeptical if Ezequiel Barco maybe could make his move to a European club, but if he continues a form like this, then definitely you will see Barco make his move pretty soon. But guys, let's wrap up a bow on this beautiful match, and let's get into the news. But before that, yes, Atlanta United will return to action on Wednesday against FC Cincy, and we'll have that match preview later on in this show. But getting into the news, Gonzalo Pineda, he was named the MLS Manager of the Week. And that's, of course, well-deserved, with a masterclass of tactics there. And it was definitely, much appreciated. But it's also Ezequiel Barco. He was named into the Team of the Week, as well as George Campbell. He made the bench. Brad Cruzan, he talked about how Gonzalo Pineda, he's already made an impact. He said, quote, "He's come in and instantly has tried to create a positive vibe within the group. In terms of how we go about our daily activities, training, preparation for games, just not trying to overcomplicate responsibilities for players. With our group, he's been able to make progress to those areas which translates onto the field. And it seems like also that simplicity is welcomed. It can be extremely difficult or extremely beneficial, Guzan continued, especially if you have a young group. It was no secret how things were before in terms of what's being asked of the group. To simplify things and to make it clear of what's being asked of individuals, it makes things a lot easier to understand and ultimately accomplish. When you look at our team, you look at the attack-minded players we have. When you have the players we have, you instantly think we're an attacking team and we should be scoring a lot more goals than we are. It's nice to keep the ball and keep possession, but it's ultimately about scoring goals and winning games. And so absolutely 100% Guzan is correct. And I think the fans echo that sentiment and are definitely encouraged and excited about what they saw on Friday. But moving on from that, an old friend maybe, or an old homegrown of Atl United, Andrew Carlton, he's found a new home. He has signed with Costa Rican First Division side Jicaral Sarcoba, announced on Saturday. The 21-year-old, of course, was Atl United's first homegrown signing. Kind of some problematic things off the pitch, and never was really to be able to stick with the first team. And yeah, congrats to him. He's got a contract with the Costa Rican side. It seems like maybe, it's a bit difficult for him to maybe get some interest from the stateside because of some transgressions off the pitch, namely with possibly storming the Capitol. Was it maybe possibly? He pretty much posted on his own IG, and so definitely it's a weird one. I think no love loss is appropriate here because, definitely he's been a immature, immature player, immature off the field in a lot of people's eyes. And I think, when you have that type of stuff happen, it's, I think fans are correct in maybe just moving on completely from him in that sense. But getting into Atl United 2, they will be playing on September 15th as well against the Charleston Battery. So that does it for the news and gets us to the match preview, and it will be on Wednesday and against FC Cincy at 7 p.m. at the Benz. It will be another matchup against FC Cincy. But, year 3 for FC Cincy, and they had a new stadium. They got their first win there, maybe their fortunes are changing. We'll see, but, definitely they're inching a little bit up the standings as well. But, last 2 seasons, in the first inaugural season and their second season, they finished back-to-back seasons in last place. So already it's a little bit of an improvement. And why is that? I mean, key acquisitions from the offseason in Lucho Acosta. He came back from his time in Liga MX. Also, Brenner, a teenage hot prospect previously, and then now he went from the Brazilian top tier to FC Cincy. So, he's been a little bit helpful in their quest for more goals from this side. And also Ronald Matarrita, that NYC FC stalwart. He was acquired for $500K in GAM this winter. But key losses is Kendall Washington. He was their first captain, but he had his contract option declined this winter, and he signed with Saprissa. And Andrew Gutman, he of course is our player, but he is playing with New York Red Bulls on loan. But he was the team's starting left back last season. But so far in our series against them, There has been 1 win for Cincy, 3 wins for us, and 2 draws, with 4 goals for them, 8 goals for us. So we have largely taken the spoils for the most part. Yeah, I mean, they're a side that's fairly weak at finishing their chances still, even though with the talent that they've brought in, they're not very strong aerially. They are a little bit susceptible defensively, and if they get a lead, they're not too great at keeping it either. But, and one really key thing I feel like is they're very poor against defending against skillful players, in which we have plenty of that. So, yeah, you know, they're a team that will try to hit and hope and take long shots. So we will, I think, have, I think, something to kind of feast on maybe in this match. But hopefully it's not a trap game for us, even though we're not very high in the standings either. But getting into their players to watch, of course, Lucho Acosta is the man there to, you know, basically run the game for them, and hopefully he does not be annoying against us. He always seems to be. Also, Jurgen Locadia, their forward, he also is a player that, yeah, I mean, if he's given a chance, he can put the ball in the back of the net, and so somebody that we will need to keep quiet for sure. But getting into the injuries and availability, so yeah, you know, FC Cincy seem pretty healthy, so that's a little bit good for them. Us, Emerson Hyman, we of course have out. Questionable is Franco Ibarra with his lower body injury. He has been running individually, training on his own. And also, unfortunately, Santiago Sosa will be out with yellow card accumulation. So, yeah, that gets us to our predicted starting 11. And, of course, Braguzan between the sticks. But the question really is, should we stick with what was successful against Orlando City? Well, I think 1 player at least, or 2, have to be brought back in, maybe 3. So I would say Robinson comes back for Campbell, of course, and then Alan Franco and Anton Walks return in that 3-man back line. I think, yeah, Lennon persists as the right wing back, and George Bello returns to the left side. Now, in midfield, that's what's going to be interesting. No Sosa. Would you be as aggressive and play Mateo Sosetu and Marcelino Moreno? I feel like it's asking quite a bit defensively. So I think you have to pretty much bring in Mo Adams here. And then I think as good of a game as Mateo Sosetu had, I think it's some rest still, and maybe he comes on later. But Marcelino Moreno will stick with him in midfield as well. But getting into the attackers, of course, I think Luis Araujo will be more kind of the right-sided, maybe winger, and then Ezequiel Barco will be kind of the left wing / maybe, you know, just kind of that roaming kind of creative playmaker. But I think, of course, as well, Jose Martinez takes his place up top. So as confusing as it was for the opposition in that sense last match against Orlando City, I think, yeah, it'll be a little bit kind of more traditional there, but Jose Martinez has the ability to bring others into the game as well. So I think, you know, you have to bring him back, of course. But, yeah, it makes this a very attacking side. I think Mo Adams will be the player that sits a little bit more and breaks up play. So getting into some of the match facts, Atlanta United have won 5 of the last 6 matches in MLS, so we are on a good run. Atlanta United have also seen under 2.5 goals in 5 of the last 6 matches against FC Cincinnati in all competitions. Hopefully, we can get a little bit more than just 3 goals in this match, and maybe all from us. But FC Cincinnati have also failed to win their last 6 away matches, so that all bodes pretty well, hopefully, into our score prediction. So my score prediction is, I think it's a 2-1 win. I think because it is a midweek match, maybe the legs aren't completely there for a ton of goals, but I think we will have enough to get the job done and get 3 points for the second win of the Gonzalo Pineda era. Hopefully, yeah, there will be a lot of interchanging between Marcelino Moreno and Ezequiel Barco. And, I mean, Ezequiel Barco has been in midfield, in that sense, been working extremely hard. And, yeah, I would probably expect him to maybe get a little bit of a rest, being taken off a bit early in this one. But still, that allows us to be able to be a little bit strong defensively as well, in spite of all that. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But that pretty much is the episode, and yeah, almost, except for the question of the day. So the question of the day is, should Gonzalo Pineda rotate with there being 3 matches in 7 days this week, or should we ride the hot hand? Let us know in the comments below. We look forward to what you have to say. But guys, that is the episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.